Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive right into it. So, we should all embrace our hunger, our lust, our desire. The universe is ours for the taking. At least, this is what Slaanesh would tell us. The Dark Prince, the Prince of Pleasure, the Lord of Excess, she who thirsts. Slaanesh is the chaos god of pleasure, pain, hedonism, excess, perfection, lust, pride, and self-indulgence. She's the youngest of the chaos gods, and was born in the 30th millennium when the Aldari basically all uploaded a mind-blowing amount of OnlyFans material to the collective warp all at once. And the resulting action of an entire race engaging in hedonistic acts of lust and torture and debauchery, literally all at the same time, sent enough coalesced psychic energies into the warp that it birthed a whole-ass god, who proceeded to then devour a good 2/3 of the souls of all of the Aldari race and their pantheon of gods. Because, I mean, yeah, of course, as soon as I wake up, I'm hungry enough to eat a whole race of space elves too. Who isn't? And right out the gate, because of Slaanesh's nature, it is both entirely male and entirely female. It often appears very androgynous, with going down a horizontal line. One half of the god's body will be male, the other half will be female. But Slaanesh can also appear as the hunkiest, most masculine male that you've ever seen in your days. And in the next moment, she will be the hottest space Satan seductress to ever grace the cosmos. Which is an oddly terrifying thing when it comes to a chaos god. Not necessarily because of the whole gender change thing, but because you have a shape-shifting chaos god that can alter his appearance to be basically whatever he wants at the moment to suit his desires, that are probably gonna be based on whatever sexual exploit or temptation is going on at the moment. So this is basically Zeus on some major steroids, right? Because on one of Slaanesh's main bags is just strolling around the universe, offering pleasures and indulgences in a truly wild way in exchange for mortal souls. It's a pretty standard sell me your soul, you get 1,000 virgins, whatever kind of thing. Sell me your soul, you get to I don't know, own and run your own opera house. Sell me your soul, you get to become the greatest painter that ever lived. And she makes it really tempting too. I mean, she has to. In this super grim, dark, and terrible universe, wouldn't you expect that? I mean, she has to. Especially being the god of excess in a universe that's filled with beings and events that are, by their very nature, beyond excessive. Slaanesh definitely has her work cut out for her here. But to be clear, we aren't just dealing with mortals' lust and indulgences giving Slaanesh his power. Anytime a mortal is ruled by an unquenchable desire to have the finest foods, the most beautiful artwork, the most sensual clothing, all of this can give the god of lust power. Now, this doesn't mean to say that, you go through a drive-through window, pick up a burger, and decide to get a large-sized meal instead of a medium, right? Or you shell out some cash for a super nice and juicy ribeye steak and a piece of pie. These instances are taking into account excessive indulgences. Now, having that ribeye steak and that piece of pie, the lowest level of pleasure and indulgence and glut, it's minuscule on the scale of what's going on in the galaxy, right? Because there's people out there that are eating literal buckets full of food. Slaanesh is going to pay more attention to that person than he is going to pay attention to the guy that's having a fairly standard, pretty nice dinner, right? Yeah, so you get 50 Big Macs, you buy up all the home art decor that Hobby Lobby's got, you drown yourself in silk and satin thongs and undergarments. I mean, that's what gets you a visit from the Prince of Pleasure. And he's just whispering seductively into your ear to give in even more to your most base desires, as much as you want. And when you reach a point where you cannot actually give yourself any more pleasures, Slaanesh is like, hey, and offers a tempting way to get even more. And if it's not, just a straight up deal of sell me your soul, which you kind of better hope that's the deal that's being offered, she's either going to be like, hey, you would be a great cultist. I'm going to make you don't have a choice. I am going to make you into a cultist of mine, because I am never going to stop tempting you. I am never going to stop whispering in your ear. All these sweet nothings are going to make you want to be a cultist for me. Yeah, in the same ways that Nurgle can plant a literal mind virus or a bit of disease or sickness, and Khorne can inspire bloodlust and savagery and rage, Slaanesh comes along with a little, hey, $80 off the OnlyFans, bruh. Only 99 cents for the first 3 months. Here we go. So yeah, anytime that you have been tempted, seduced, talked into that one-night stand, talked into eating just one more box of pizza, adding on another slice of chocolate cake after that third piece of pie, the perfect prince is there, right? Basking in the psychic reverberations of all of that hedonism, just waiting for you to head down that rabbit hole long enough for her to manifest herself to you to tempt you even further. And a big problem with that is she looks perfect. Like damn near perfect. So imagine Khorne. Khorne is this massive and frightening warrior clad in burning armor, right? Nurgle is a hulking oogie boogie of disgusting decay and rot. But Slaanesh appears, and this is not in the context of how humans look to other humans. This is how, say, you would imagine a chaos god of pleasure to look. Slaanesh appears as a perfect embodiment of either the male or female form. Most of the time, she kind of resembles this rebus-looking figure, right? The vertical line down the middle, one half is fully male, the other half is fully female. She's got twin twisting horns jutting from its head. It is noteworthy, too, that its appearance mostly depends on whoever Slaanesh is trying to tempt or is facing down in, or I should say, his followers are facing down in battle, because his demons kind of take on the shape too. But he's going to take on the form of whatever is going to be most alluring to that particular individual. Right? The constraints in whatever form he decides to take, though, there's a couple of constants here. There's 2 pairs of slender horns, and there's flowing golden hair. She's also purple, like really purple for some reason. Don't know why. They all have their weird color schemes going on. Slaanesh just happens to be purple. So if you ever come across this Chaos God, she's going to be hot. Like, the most unbelievably hot, to the point of enslaving your senses. Literally. It's pretty scary. Some of us know people that are like that. So, is all this sexy temptress stuff all that there is to the Prince of Pleasure? Well, no. But for the tabletop, it is a pretty crucial aspect of the character creation step when you're making models for your army. Like I said, it's not just the bow chicka bow wow. It's food, art, music, a lot of drugs. But how does her gift affect her followers, let's say? Her demons, her cultists, soldiers. Well, Slaanesh's power works the same way that the other Chaos Gods do for their followers. The main difference can be found in the details of the effects. When one of the Emperor's children, let's say, the Chaos Space Marine Legion following the demon Primarch Fulgrim, whenever one of them fires a weapon, the recoil from that bolter shot goes up their arm and through their body, and it feels sensual. Like a cool caress of a soothing lover instead of violent vibrations from a shotgun. Now, it doesn't sound so terrible, does it? Whenever a cultist stops and revels in the power that they have over their slaves, taken in their master's name, it's not only an emotional sense of pride, but a full-on ejaculation of pride. Both literally and figuratively. So, yeah, Nurgle may be physically off-putting and disgusting, but Slaanesh is disturbing and creepy and really rapey, and that's a terrifying time to even be around the lowest of his followers. I'm convinced Slaanesh is the reason we have 2 girls, 1 cup. Just some... I can't with Slaanesh. I think I'd much rather fight Khorne's people. I definitely would want to fight Nurgle last, because if you know, his toxic pestilence cloud breaches your breathing mask, even for a little bit, you're done immediately. But with Slaanesh's people, really, all you got to do is get over the super gross OnlyFans models pitching themselves at you. And for those of us that doom scroll YouTube and Instagram all the time, or TikTok or X, I mean, we're kind of used to that, right? How many ads do you see for a whole bunch of different things? For OnlyFans, Bumble, TikTok, Grindr, all that kind of good stuff that is just geared towards amping up your hedonistic pleasure. And I mean, even food commercials do that, right? Because their whole thing is, we put up this commercial, it makes you want to buy the sandwich, you come and buy the sandwich. Okay, well, Slaanesh got her piece of the pie from that too, because you didn't need to buy that sandwich. You wouldn't have bought that sandwich if it was not for that commercial. So it's a little bit of indulgence there. It's the smallest mote of it, but it still powers the chaos god. You're still doing your part to fuel this just super gross, like, don't do it. I mean, yeah, at least you won't catch a plague or a monstrous disease, or be challenged by a roided out gym bro to an arm wrestling contest where the loser gets his spine ripped out of him. However, Slaanesh's corruption is arguably the easiest to be passed on, since that door can be thrown open by pain, pleasure, passion. I mean, they've got the marketing down. It's super easy. It's definitely a lot easier than being convinced by a HGH Planet Fitness member recruiter or a plague doctor who spreads plagues instead of cures them. I mean, yeah, I would probably much rather fight Slaanesh's people. So, Slaanesh's main man, his chief lieutenant, his prime servant, is Fulgrim, the demon Primarch who fell during the Horus Heresy, who leads the Chaos Space Marine Legion, the Emperor's Children. And I know what you're thinking. Chaos Space Marines, they're traitors, heretics. Why do they call themselves the Emperor's Children? Well, that name is meant to be in mockery. Fulgrim is trolling his enemies in the Imperium because he's leading traitors, of course. Their battle cry is even "for the Emperor," which is hilarious when you read the Ultramarines' reactions of disgust and confusion. So, Fulgrim is this four-armed, serpent-bodied demon Primarch who is all about perfection and symmetry. He, like his master, believe in achieving perfection in all things. And in combat, this means perfection in sound, in color, in speed, and in combat skill. He and his legions have sound cannons. They've got these cracking whips. And of course they have their mutations, right? But their mutations usually end in these long purple crab-like claws and horns, which is kind of weird to me. Now Fulgrim himself, of course, has his ornate purple and gold armor. He's got this two-handed curved demon blade, which was able to kill his brother, another Primarch named Ferrus Manus. So, I mean, any sword that can kill a Primarch, that's a good weapon to hold on to. He also rocks a blade called the Kinnebrach Anathema, not to be confused with Anathema, another name for the Emperor. And that sword was given to him by Horus during the Horus Heresy. And it's a chaos blade that he wrecks absolute shit with during the rebellion. It's pretty poetic. I think that all the Chaos Gods' best champions are these fallen Primarchs from the Imperium. Now, they aren't their only mightiest servants, but they definitely command more fear and respect than any natural demon. Also, Slaanesh has one of those magic numbers. Her special sacred number is 6. His rituals and sacrifices can go beyond the simple symbology of using this number, however, since he is the god of excess and straight up overdoing things to an extreme amount. Remember all those 90s and early 2000s commercials where everything was extreme? Like it was everything from like Capri Sun commercials, and there was a whole bunch of skater influences also. But Slaanesh is definitely the chaotic god of that. Slogans like "Drink your pets." I mean, those pop up in my head and make me chuckle, which I am confident is what Slaanesh truly enjoys out of my remembering these super weird commercials and in movies. The 90s and early 2000s was it, man. Like it was a good time. It was controlled chaos that everybody enjoyed. Unlike what we have now. Nobody enjoys what we have now. Very sad. But that is all the time I had for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stick around for more Sci-Fi Unchained. But for now, live long and prosper, my friends, and may the Force be with us all.